Well, the red carpet is out at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood. We're just 2 days away now from the 88th Annual Academy Awards, Hollywood's biggest night. And you'll be able to see it live right here on Denver7. So joining us now from the newsroom is Eden Lane, the host and producer of the InFocus Arts program on Colorado Public Television. Eden, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we've all printed out our Oscar ballots from the denverchannel.com. Many of these movies, I gotta say, I haven't personally seen. You have, though. So which ones do you think should win, and which ones do you think will actually win?
Well, you actually have a chance to see many of them by going to the C Film Center or the multiplex in Westminster, or even some of the landmark theaters. So you'll have a chance to catch up, and some of them are also streaming. To say the ones I think that should win would be really hard, because it's, sort of judging artistic merit. And it's also subjective. What I think will win will be The Revenant. I think it will be the night for The Revenant.
Okay, so what about Leonardo DiCaprio? Do you think he'll finally get his Oscar?
The momentum is behind Leonardo DiCaprio for his first Academy Award. It's amazing to think that over his body of work that he hasn't had one yet, although he's had several nominations. So I think that the sentiment is really behind him, especially knowing all the hardship that he went through to make this movie. Whether or not you really engaged in the movie or the performance, I think sentiment will carry the day.
Yeah, and filmmakers really went the extra mile for Revenant and Spotlight.
Spotlight was really exceptional. Everyone's well aware of the kind of hardship that The Revenant went through, but the filmmakers for Spotlight really approached it as investigative journalists trying to tell the story of journalists. And they really sort of captured the kind of work that goes into telling this kind of story in a newspaper. So that kind of behind-the-scenes sort of journalist, media, navel-gazing film really kind of resonates with so many voters.
So let's talk about Best Actress. Any standouts?
Well, of course, momentum is behind Brie Larson in The Room. It's a spectacular performance. All of those women have really delivered stellar work this year, but I think that the momentum is behind Brie Larson. So if you're filling out your ballot, you might want to check her if you're trying to win your pool.
All right, good advice. Little inside scoop there. We mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio, but what about some of the other contenders for Best Actor?
Well, I think that Leonardo DiCaprio has really outshone all of them. If it were up to me, I think that Bryan Cranston's work really has also stood out in a way that might sort of give him a little bit of an edge, because it's another sort of inside, behind-the-scenes kind of story. Eddie Redmayne won last year, so I think that people will sort of acknowledge him with the nomination, but not necessarily vote for him.
And really quickly, I wanted to touch on the controversy, the lack of diversity. A lot of people talking about that with this year's nominees. Chris Rock hosting. So do you think we can expect to hear anything from him on this topic during the evening?
Well, of course, it's Chris Rock, so we can expect to hear lots of fireworks from him no matter what was going on. But with this Oscars So White hashtag that really began more than a year ago, I think that he's the perfect person to try to give voice at the beginning of the ceremony, and probably many people will bring it up throughout the evening.
All right, it'll be very interesting. And Eden, we should mention that you will be watching the show at the Colorado Film Society's watch party at the Sci Center Sunday night, which is actually free for anyone who wants to join, right?
That's right. Just come on down and bring your ballot with you.
All right, Eden, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after the break.